All right, sitting there with Richmond County football coach Bryan Till. Coach, how's life been different since the pandemic started?
It's been extremely different. A lot of virtual, learning. That's just all teachers, not just coaches. Obviously, a lot of
Hmm.
virtual learning. We've started using some software called Go Army Edge.
Hmm.
Our offensive coordinator, defense coordinators are doing that where we can design playbooks and do three-dimensional stuff with the we already had playbooks, digital playbooks, but now it gives us some three-dimensional things that maybe the boys can see a little better. um, Workouts are really a lot more on their own. They got to be
Hmm.
very motivated themselves to do that. And so we're posting as many different things as possible. We got some of the guys have weights at their houses, not very many,
Hmm.
but some of them.
Hmm.
And so we've got our traditional spreadsheet of what they're supposed to do. That's all on Canvas, which is the educational software all teachers use. We've
Hmm.
kind of made some classes and given some things there. And then we're creating a lot of other types of workouts and maybe can do at home. And so, and then, for us as coaches, we're meeting virtually on Zoom too,
Hmm.
to make sure we're all staying in contact. A
Hmm.
lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls, a lot of things like that to really just try and check up on, you're so used to seeing these guys every day
Hmm.
and being able to ask them simple questions like how things are going and stuff. And it's, you really take those relationships for granted until they're taken away. And so we're trying to make sure we can maintain, just keep up with our guys because we love them so much and trying to check on them.
Yeah. You started a hashtag on Twitter, Find a Way, where you do different types of workouts using things you might find at your house. Talk about that a little bit and how that began.
Yeah. So, we a lot of this brainstorm we were doing as a coaching staff, talking about, different things our kids might have or do.
Hmm.
And I actually talked with our offense coordinator, Jay Jones. He and I talked quite a bit, leadership wise and a lot of different things. So we're looking at different things. He started out like a 50, push-up challenge,
Hmm.
that we did something like that a couple summers ago, and he did that. And then I just started saying, okay, well, as things got taken away from us, right? So
Hmm.
you could have gone to the gym. A lot of the guys could have gone to the local gyms.
Hmm.
Well, now that's starting to get taken away. All right, let's continue to find a way
Hmm.
to make sure we're pushing ourselves, because that's
Hmm.
really ultimately what so much of this is about, is how are we pushing ourselves to get better. That's all the cliches we talk about with football and sports in general.
Hmm.
Right
Hmm.
now we got a chance to put those cliches into action. So
Right.
that's what we want to do. And so I was really inspired by a former player of mine, Dylan Horn.
Hmm.
Saw some stuff he did on Facebook with his dad out in the farm, and
Okay.
different
Okay.
influences. And I started seeing Scott Sinclair, who is a former Richmond Raider, but he's the head strength coach at Georgia, my alma
Okay.
mater. And
Hmm.
so seeing some of those guys, things those guys were doing, and things, I started looking around the house and saying, okay, where's some ways that maybe my guys? So put a lot of those. I don't want to say, okay, this is something I just came, this great brainstorm I came up with. There's really a lot of places and parts I looked at that said, okay, these are some things that kind of inspired me to say, let's
Hmm.
see what we can do with our guys too.
It seemed to catch on with your players, though. I see them posting Find a Way. I saw a guy
Right.
pulling the truck. You said,
That's
don't do it in the street. You said, do it in the park.
right. We had them, I did the lawnmower. I thought that was pretty safe. Of course,
Yeah.
the boys want to go bigger and better. One of
Yeah.
my guys, CJ Tillman puts a 100-pound bag on his lawnmower. Then
Yeah.
you got guys pushing cars. And then we got one of our big linemen. He's on a dirt road and he's got like a dually quad cab
Truck.
Dodge truck.
Yeah, I
And he's
saw that.
strapped. I don't even wear it.
Yeah.
I think he must got a harness off an ox or something. He's just got
Yeah.
that thing strapped around. So it was pretty impressive to see what some of these guys are coming up with.
What is your day? How's your day different now than it was before? I'm assuming you went to school at 6 in the morning before. Talk
Right.
about that. What's the difference? How's it different?
So the difference now, like you're saying, that before, your school 6 a.m. I would lift before school myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then get prepared for the day and cafeteria duty, and then we would have weight training fourth block. So I would have my planning period and then my prep time, and so
Mm-hmm.
anyway, there's a lot of that would go on. So now we have our school system is doing 9 to 12
Mm-hmm.
on our Canvas. So what I'm doing is I've got the workouts done every day. I'm checking workouts in. I'm going through and I'm contacting college coaches. Normally this is recruiting time. Those guys be
Mm-hmm.
coming into our building.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're meeting virtually, whether I'm meeting with them Zoom like I am you right now,
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm calling them. And what's pretty impressive though now is a lot of times before they were on the road, so it wasn't easy to get in touch with them. You send them a text message. Now you can call guys. They're typically in the office, so you can get
Mm-hmm.
times together to really call and talk. So setting a lot of that up in the mornings. those recruiting visits, virtual
Mm-hmm.
recruiting visits.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're doing Zoom meetings with our guys different days. So, defense has 2 meetings on Wednesdays, the front and then the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership meets we were meeting on Thursdays anyway, but we're meeting virtually on Thursdays.
So you have all the players on Zoom at one time?
Most of them at this point are either on, are on Zoom.
Okay.
We're getting into groups of between 20 and 30 at a time on Zoom right now.
So you're actually showing plays. You're sharing your screen and showing them plays. And
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so we're able to, that's why I said that the Go Army Edge was helpful to us because it goes 3D. So it looks like a virtual world of football that we're kind of, we've got the X's and O's version, and then we go 3D and it shows them kind of that virtual, world of things we're doing. And our coaches have worked really hard. I can't take a lot, I kind of framework things, but our coaches are working really hard to put those things out of our normal playbook into that format so that our kids can see it. And then, like I said, our offensive meeting is on Friday. We have 2 offensive meetings. We'll have Wednesday's our defensive day, Friday's our offensive day, and then Thursday is our leadership day. And so that's kind of how we work things throughout the course of the week. And then the days are normally 9 to 12 is our classroom type time, college contact time. And then our coaches will get together sometimes in the evenings too, because a lot of them have to deal with, our coaches are dealing with taking care of their own kids at home too.
Absolutely.
So now we're trying to meet kind of after, if one of the wives or somebody can take over in the afternoon, so we're trying to work all those things out too. So there's a lot of logistics. I'll tell you this, thing that looks different is a school day, what a school day is, right? Yeah. 7 to 3:30 or whatever. And then every day right now, you got to look at the schedule and go, okay, now there's the differences and all the moving parts that are daily that you're kind of juggling those balls up in the air a lot.
As football coaches, you guys play such a big role in the lives of these kids. Are you concerned that you may lose some of these kids during this period?
I am. I mean, there's a huge concern we have. A lot of that too is football coaches, but it's also the culture of football where you got so many kids around each other. So, those kids are having an impact on each other, and they're not seeing each other either. So all those positive impacts, we're losing out on some of those things. And so I'm very concerned that we lose some of those kids. I'm concerned for that in every sport, in all honesty. Football is such a large group of kids that, I'm very concerned. I'm not concerned that we lose them long term. I'm concerned with the positive impacts that, give them the chance to go to college, give them the chance to get that job later on that, we haven't had those months, together, those weeks and days together that add up to those impacts. So, that's a concern, and that's why we're working so hard to do everything we can. That's why our school system, too, is working so hard, with the meals and everything, because we know those positive impacts and how big that is.